Hey everybody, it's Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. How are you guys today? I am excited to be with you once again. Have the best time spending time with you. And I hope that you guys check out my blog where I do blog every day. The website is always at the top of the screen. It's inkyhandswarmhearts.com. I also link it in the description below. And if you have any questions, you can email me. The email is also in the description below, or put a comment. I appreciate all your thumbs up. And today we are going to make this adorable basket. And it is made with the Curvy Keepsakes, mini Curvy Keepsakes die. Now this set of dies here is retired, but it is in the store on my clearance rack. I don't know what I've gotten on there, but something sticky. Anyway, it's in the clearance rack at my store, and so you can still purchase it, and it is at a good value. So definitely check it out so that you can get yourself one of these, because it's an awesome little die. Not only do you get this cool shape, you get all these cute little tag pieces and sprigs. So definitely check it out. And I have paired it today on the double oval punch with this beautiful die set. It's one of my favorite out of last year's spring mini, and it carried over into the annual catalog. I use it all the time. It is the Pierced Blooms dies, and what I love about it is they have all these little dotted pieces when you cut it out, so you can see how these flowers and the leaves have all this little dot, and it's just such a beautiful effect, I think, with the dies. We're going to be using some of the Baker's Twine Essential Pack. I wanted to show it to you just in case you haven't seen it. You get 5 different colors of twine, and it is such a great little pack. So definitely check that out. And let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to leave the die out for a minute because I'm going to show you guys first how to cut your paper. So I decided to use the DSP that we get every year, and the patterns change every year, but we always have some great new patterns, and they come in the in colors, and it comes in all of the color families: the brights, the neutrals, the subtles, and the regals. And this piece here happens to be out of the in color paper that is going out in May. So this paper is what I'm going to show you how to cut. We only need this section of the die, but if we put it on this piece, we'll need to use 2 sheets of 6x6. To save paper, I'm going to show you how to go about it. Let me move my basket out of the way temporarily, and then I'm going to show you how to cut the paper. So you're going to cut it. Let me grab my little mini guillotine cutter to show you. So this piece is 6x6. So we're going to cut one piece 2 inches by 6. Okay, so that is our first cut. So we have a 2x6 piece. Then we're going to rotate it in this direction, and we're going to cut 3 pieces at 2x6. So that gives you 3 identical pieces, not 6, 2x4, because when we cut that 2-inch piece, we're left with a 4-inch piece, right? So this is how you're going to cut your 6x6 DSP. And when you do that, you get 4 pieces. Now, you're going to use the die to get these pieces cut. Now, when you place your die, let me move this piece out of the way. When you place your die on here, you're not going to get the full square bottom, but it's okay because the inside of your basket is covered with this grass and with whatever treat you're going to put in there. So no one's going to see the bottom. And we're going to get 1 full piece with this square, and I'll show you as we go. So you're going to have 3 of them that are cut like this, that just give you a portion of this bottom square. All of these 3 will do that. Then when you go to cut this piece, you're going to lay it on here, and you're going to lay it so that you get this full square and then this top section. And then this full square becomes the bottom of your basket. See how I have a full square down there? And it is the, whoops, it's the inside. So I'm going to show you how to go about doing it. I just wanted to show you how to cut your paper so that you could get one basket out of one piece instead of having to use two pieces. So that is that trick. Let me put my die away and then we'll get started making the basket. You'll see how fun and easy it is to make. Now, if you guys hear any little noises in my craft room today, I have my daughter's bunny in here, and he is a free roaming bunny, so he's all over the place. He hops up. I have a little ottoman under my desk. He hops on the ottoman. He is munching on his veggies. He usually tries to get into things when I'm talking like this, so I may have to shoo him away from different things. Like right now, he's trying to bite paper. He loves paper. And of course, this is like the paper haven, right? So you can't really fault him. All right, so this is my piece that has the full square. Let's see if you can see it better now. You can't really see it better on that side. And then these are the three pieces that have the partial square from the bottom. Can you see the difference? There we go. So I'm going to take my paper snips and I'm going to trim along that square. And I only want to keep the square. See, there he goes, making noise. Little Jasper, that's his name. So I'm only going to keep this square here. This one I can't see that well, so I have to kind of fold it so I can see it. There we go. So this is the squared bottom, the full square. These are the partials. I just have to cut the two sides off of these. You'll see in a second. So these get just the partial square. But the point is that you want all your sides to be the same. And since the mini Curvy Keepsakes dies has a rounded side and a pointed side, we wanted all the points because that's what gives you this really pretty furled piece on your basket, to have 4 points rather than just 2. So it is quite simple. You're just going to cut all of those away. All right. So now I'm going to grab my bone folder. Let me get rid of these little scraps of paper. I'm going to grab my bone folder here. And I'm going to just slightly bend on the score line. Like this. Okay. Now this is going to be the base, and then we are going to attach these pieces right on here, okay, to form our box. So let's go ahead and get our wet adhesive. It's what I like to use, and I do use my silicone mat when I do anything with this wet glue because I'm really good at making a mess. So we'll go ahead and get the wet glue started here. And we're just putting it on the part of the square at the bottom. And then we're going to line it up with this one. And I'm just going to test this side and make sure that it's right up to that square. And it is. Now we'll go this other direction. I'm going to turn it over as well, just to double check that it's lined up before it sets, because we definitely want this to have a good play in it. Good. Just like that. One more. We'll do the final piece. And then this one comes this way. And this is the best way that I could see doing it, where you would save and only use one sheet of the DSP. If it was a 12 by 12, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you only get 2 sheets of every color of the designer series paper, unless it's an in color. In the in color packs, you get 4 sheets of each because there's only 5 colors. But in the regular sets, in the subtles, the bolds, the subtles, the brights, the regals, and the neutrals, you get 2 sheets of each, and I didn't want you guys using both sheets up and then you don't have that pattern any longer. But if it doesn't bother you, you can go ahead and just cut 2, and at that point you would just cut along this side, and then you would just layer 2 across from each other. You wouldn't have 4 to glue down. But I don't think it's really that bad, is it? Now, this little line right here, we are going to use that to form the basket sides. It's kind of bowed on this side, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use my fingers and I'm going to turn these pieces in, and then I'm just going to press them down. They form the pieces that we're going to glue together to form this basket. So we're kind of making it a square, as you can see when I turn in these cute curves. So I'm just going to turn them in one at a time, just like that. Let's work on this side. And I'll flip over to this side. So there's that one. And then we just have 2 more to go. So you're just going to turn those little pieces in. Jasper. He's a little stinker, this bunny, but I love him so much. All right, so we're turning those sides in, and then we're just going to add adhesive, and we're going to press them together to form the sides of our basket here. So there's one, and I'm just pressing with my finger to adhere those together. Let's do this one. You don't need too much. This glue is pretty strong. So we're gonna go ahead and attach these 2 sides together. Get that to bond nicely. Add some adhesive on this one. And then we'll put these 2 sides together. There we go. Put a little bit too much glue there. And then we'll do the last one. Just have to squeeze it in there. And then we'll press those 2 sides together. That forms our basket. All right. So now, see how these sides are kind of curled? I'm gonna let it set, and while the glue hardens, we will work on our label section. So we're gonna use the double label punch. We're gonna take a scrap piece of cinnamon cider, which is the color that I chose for the basket, and we're gonna punch the scalloped end. And then we're gonna take a scrap piece of basic white cardstock, and we're gonna punch the smooth end. So that's it for that punch. I'm gonna move that out of the camera, get that out of the way. And while this is setting, we're gonna go ahead and put some glue on this oval here. And we will glue it to this one. And we're gonna set up this really cute flower. Now I've already cut the flower pieces. I used scraps of Blushing Bride, Balmy Blue, and Mint Macaron because they matched the eggs that I wanted to put in there. These are just Hershey's milk chocolate eggs, and they went the best for the colors, I believe. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and glue the centers into my flowers. So we'll do the opposite colors. And while that's setting, I will put some adhesive on the backs, these leaf pieces on the tops. And then I'm going to set those like so behind the flower and get those to adhere. And then we'll do this one. And then we'll get it to adhere behind this. This is such a pretty die set. Like I said, I really love the stitching on those, and the link will be in the description below if you'd like to purchase it from my online store. It's called the Pierced Blooms Dies, and they're amazing. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and attach these two pieces onto our label piece. And we're going to be using dimensionals to place those on there. But before I do, I'm gonna curl my flower petals. I'm just using really gently against the edge of my bone folder, and I'm just lifting those petals up so that they stick up. I'm gonna do the same here. I don't need quite as much because there's only 4 petals here and they don't really stick up as much as the pink flower, but just lifting it, giving it a little bit of lift. And we're gonna go ahead and put a dimensional behind each of these flower pieces. And then I'm gonna use a handheld punch here, and I'm just gonna punch just a circle right there in the top of this label. We're going to use our Take Your Pick tool, which you know, if you guys watch me, you know how much I love this tool. We're going to pull those 2 backs off of my Stampin' Dimensionals. And we'll start here, and we'll just kind of lay this flower, it's so pretty, right here on the end. Let's move it up a little higher. And then we're going to attach this flower over the top right here, like so. Isn't that so pretty? We're gonna grab our twine, and I've used the crumb cake colored piece, and I'm just gonna thread it through this piece here, and we'll save it for our basket. So I'm just gonna sit it off here to the side. That's all glued. I'm gonna move my silicone mat out of the way, and this should be set now. We're gonna go ahead and curl the ends of this. The same way I did the petals of the flower is how I will do the basket. So I just grab my bone folder and I just pull gently. You don't want to pull too tight because you can tear the paper. Designer series paper is thin and lightweight, and so you don't want to break it. But there, see how those curl nicely? Now we're going to take some adhesive here and we are going to attach it. Oh, before I do that, I'm going to show you, we're going to curl this basket handle. And I do the same thing with the bone folder. It breaks the fibers down of the cardstock and it helps to curve it. Isn't that neat? So we're going to go ahead and put some adhesive on the basket handle pieces, so these outside portions, and I'm going to glue it just below that slit. So I'm going to put one right there and hold it just for a second for it to grab. Come on, get in there. There we go. And then I'm going to put some on this piece here. Same thing, just below that little slit. And wait for it to grab. And then we're going to grab some of this, I don't know what this stuff is called, like paper filler, or just going to kind of yank a little section out of my bag here. It might be too much. Let me pull some out. We'll start with a little bit at a time because we definitely want room for the eggs. But this is just so festive and pretty, and I think it just adds that little extra touch to your brown basket. I think that's plenty now. I'll go ahead and grab these little small scraps and toss them in the basket. All right, so then here's our eggs. We'll put one of each color of these eggs in our basket. And now we're going to, let me pull the pink one out, put this little blue piece in there. There we go. We're gonna go ahead and tie this around the handle of the basket. So I'm gonna go ahead and go around that side there. And then I'm going to tie a knot on this end, just wrapping it around and pulling it through the loop that I've made. And I'm gonna kind of pull it down a little bit like that. And I gave myself enough there so that I could wrap it around easily. And I'm just gonna snip that end and we'll get rid of the extra. And then I'm gonna take that knot and I'm gonna just guide it around so that it is behind that label and you don't really see it, that double label, because it's not as pretty as the rest of it. So there you go. So then the label there hangs, and on the back you can write to and from. See how I pushed the knot to the back? And that is our cute little treat basket with the Hershey milk chocolate eggs. I hope that you enjoyed watching me put this together. I certainly enjoyed doing it. Definitely check out both sets of dies. The mini Curvy Keepsakes box is in the clearance rack, so that one is kind of haste. Definitely check that out quickly because it may be gone. It's while supplies last. And then the pierced blooms dies are the ones that we used for the flowers. And don't forget about that really cool double oval punch that we've also used today. Thanks again for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Hit that subscribe button. Definitely give me a like if you like this video. Comment down below if you have any questions or if you just want to make a comment about the video. I appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. This is Kelly with Inky Hands Warm Hearts. Happy stamping!